Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a New York Jet edition of the Big D podcast. Before I bring in the night's special guests, please subscribe, like, and share the Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page. Got a bunch of content coming, a Premier League preview tomorrow. Who knows what's coming the rest of the week, but we've got a bunch of content coming this week. And if you remember back to the Stanley Cup playoffs where New York Islanders and Tampa Bay Lightning met in the what do we call it, the semifinal round.
Yeah.
Well, this next guest and I made a friendly wager, and unfortunately for him, my Bolts won in 7 games. But luckily for me, he is back to grace himself. Joining us tonight is my friend Chris Moshinskie. Chris, sorry about the Islanders.
That's all right. We've had some time to get over that loss. That was tough, man. I was on your show. What was that, Game 6, I think it was, and I think it was Game 6. And I said, as long as we don't lose like 10-0, it'll be fine. And then it was like 8. It was 8-0.
I think it was Game 5.
It might have been Game 5, and I'm like, as long as we don't lose 10-0, that's fine. And then it was 8-0, and I'm like, what the hell did I just do? So
you tried to put the reverse jinx. Instead you cursed the Islanders.
I don't know. I just somehow knew, and I'm sure when we get into the Jets here, you'll see my long-standing pain that I had with some New York sport teams. The Islanders are included in that. They gave me a long time of being upset, but they turned it around. So let's hope that happens here too in the NFL.
Yeah, Chris, not just you being an Islanders fan, but now for this segment, talk about your long and agitated frustration of being a Jets fan.
It's been, I can't say it's been great. A lot of my friends are Jets fans, so at least I'm not alone in the misery. But I remember when I was a kid, initially, I was like a Jerry Rice and Steve Young, Joe Montana fan. So I liked the 49ers, but being from Long Island, everyone was about Jets or Giants. So I think I jumped on with the Jets. I think it was their 1-15 season back in like 96 or whatever it was. I picked the worst time to become a Jets fan. But they had it was not too bad. 90s, like 98 when they lost to Denver, and so they won the Super Bowl. But it's been, outside of unfortunately Sanchez's 2 AFC Championship games, it's been pretty bad for the last, I don't know. What are we looking at here? I'm like 25 years.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the mid-90s Jets when it really started going downhill after Dan Marino's fake spike.
Yeah, I remember watching that. Yep.
And then who was it in the night? And then 95 and 96 might have been 2 of the worst years you ever.
I remember
Jet fans to this day are still clamoring for Warren Sapp.
Yeah, I was like 10 years old. I remember they signed Neil O'Donnell. That was like their savior.
Oh, gosh.
And I think he got hurt the first game. Like his first game was a Jet, and he missed the entire season. I think he never played another game for the Jets. I don't remember, but yeah, it went downhill. And they made Testaverde, who was fine. I didn't really like him, but I guess it could be worse.
Yeah.
As I would soon find out the years after. Yes, it could be much worse.
I'm just saying, would things have been different if like the franchise were not cursed, because when you could have drafted Warren Sapp, you drafted Kyle Brady. Just saying, one guy's Hall of Famer, one guy's no.
The Jets used their first pick of a draft. It was I forget what year it was, but the second round they took Mike Nugent, a kicker.
Oh, God.
And and I should have done some research on that, but I remember my friends and I, we like to go down memory lane looking at drafts of the past, and who did we take Mike Nugent over? I'm pretty sure it was like Maurice Jones-Drew, I think, was one of the guys or something. So like, what are we doing? So I hope things are changed with this new regime we have.
Yeah, I'm looking up Mike Nugent now from the Ohio State University, second round pick, and let me see, 2005 NFL draft. Let me see if I can find one. How about this? End of second round, the Chargers took Vincent Jackson with the 61st pick, and then Frank Gold was the first pick in the third round.
Yeah, so I'm looking at here. Yeah, I have it up now too.
Oops.
Yeah, that's pretty rough that you could have had. Yeah, it was Frank Gore, not Maurice Jones-Drew. Yeah, Frank Gore, 16 years.
MJD was the next draft. Trust me. I know. Being a Jag fan, I loved MJD.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you did then. Yep. Yeah, Vincent Jackson, that's another good one. Yeah, I'm scrolling through. Yeah, this, of course. I mean, but have you ever seen a kicker go that early? I mean, I don't remember ever seeing.
Sebastian Janikowski was the first rounder.
Yeah, but besides those, I can't remember anybody else. I can't believe Janikowski was a first rounder either. Like, I mean, their kickers are important, but I don't know. Unless you're like your Justin Tucker type, like, I don't know. You should never miss. They all do. What are you gonna do?
I mean, unfortunately, some kickers walk out and some kickers drop the ball. I mean, if the Jets would have kicked a few field goals against the Steelers or Colts, you might have been in a few Super Bowls.
Yeah, that was Dan O'Brien. Is that his name?
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember like having like MySpace and like I think I posted on that like how I just couldn't stand Dan O'Brien. I'm like, he cost us those games back in like 2004, 2005. Brutal.
Yeah,
I hate when it comes down to kickers.
And then 2009, when you got Mark Sanchez, it looked like you finally got a quarterback to contend with.
No. I mean, that was like the Rex Ryan era, and I love Rex Ryan. I love like his charisma, and he's a funny dude, and he's a great defensive mind. But Mark Sanchez was obviously not the answer. They simplified the offense enough, and had a great running game, which carried them. Good defense and a good running game kept Sanchez from costing them too many games. But as you can see, it can only get them so far.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember one game we'll talk about later where the Jets literally ran the ball like 40 times and didn't give a Hall of Famer the ball. I won't mention what game it is, but it's not the division round where you when I knew you were going to beat Tom Brady and the Patriots in Foxborough.
That was a good game.
Coming off that, what was it, 41-0, 41-3 Monday night.
41-3, I think it was. Yeah.
Lacking when I took so much. When I picked the Jets for that game, and then like 3 minutes in, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And then I still picked the Jets. I knew you were going to beat New England in that division round. I'm like, what is going on here? That was shocking that you beat New England in Foxborough when nobody wins there.
That never happens. Yeah, like Mark Sanchez was like a 4-2 as a playoff. His playoff career was like 4-2, like crazy, and he beat Brady. Like that's a great resume. But how the hell?
I mean, if only he could beat Big Ben.
That was the issue right there. And Peyton Manning kind of got in his way too.
Yeah.
Understandably so.
But unfortunately, Sanchez and Rex Ryan didn't work out, and I don't know. Goodness knows how many coaches you've gone through since then. But it looked like Sam Darnold was going to be the guy, but be honest, Sam never got to play with a confident offense. He basically, I mean, you and I were basically his receivers. I mean, could you name one decent receiver outside Crowder?
Let's see it with Darnold. I mean, they had Robbie Anderson. He was obviously his guy.
And then the Jets let him leave for Carolina.
Yeah. I mean, Sam Darnold had to go. I think Adam Gase ruined him. The team didn't do Sam any favors, like you said. He had, we didn't have a very good running game as of late. Offensive line was terrible. No receivers. Like the offense was just pitiful, to say the least. I mean, no one's going to be able to perform well on a team built like that. So he ended his rookie season with a pretty strong stretch. At least 4 or 6 games. He was pretty good. So it gave us some hope going into year 2. Started off a little slow, and then he had mono, which I never seen an NFL player miss like 4 games from mono because he could have died. And he wasn't the same after that. And then the Gase era took over, and it was just so bad. So again, another USC quarterback that I wasn't excited for since the last one didn't work out that great. I mean, most of them don't. So hopefully for him, he has some success in Carolina. He has a pretty competent offense around him. So we'll see if it's Darnold or if it was the Jets that ruined it. We'll see.
Or maybe Adam Gates would ruin it.
I think, Gase didn't help. Absolutely not. So right now the jury is still out if Darnold's a good quarterback. I don't really see it. He's out there seeing ghosts against the Patriots. I think that was before Gase. So he's I don't know. He's in his own way. So I don't know. If he can't succeed in Carolina with that offense, then he won't last long.
I've got a bold prediction this year. I think Sam Darnold could be a top 10 quarterback this year.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he very well could be.
I'm just saying that up-tempo offense, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, and I think a sneaky rookie this year, Terrace Marshall Jr. Look out.
Terrace Marshall is going to play that Jameson Crowder role for him. So that's going to be like a safety blanket. And Carolina doesn't use tight ends, but have you seen that the Darnold to Arnold connection has been a real thing in camp? So I don't know if they're going to. I mean, Sam Darnold can't get the ball down the field to Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. So he needs someone to check it down to. I mean, he had McCaffrey, but I don't know. I think Darnold's just going to be – I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be afraid to throw it. He might just check it down all day and play it safe.
Hey, that won't hurt Christian McCaffrey's fantasy owners. He'll get 150 balls that way.
I know. He might catch 200 with Sam Darnold because he's not I don't know. He did well with Robbie Anderson. So maybe they'll have it. But I do like Terrace Marshall a lot. And if they limit Darnold's mistakes so he plays well and he limits his own mistakes, he can very well be a serviceable quarterback.
So now heading into last year, obviously most people wanted to – fitting you're here because most people wanted – because your Jets and my Jaguars were two of the teams that tried the tank for Trevor Lawrence. And they're going into week 15. I'm like, the Jets are not going to blow this. I mean, if you still had an eliminator, I bet a lot of people used the Rams because they were, a double-digit favorite, beat the Patriots coming off extra rest, and then the Jets pulled off the stunner of the year.
Like, how the hell did we beat the Rams? Like, that was insane. Like, what are we doing? Like, that was bad. I couldn't believe that.
And knowing you were probably you probably wanted the Jets to lose because you wanted Trevor Lawrence.
It's so hard, to root for your team to lose. But at that point, it was pretty bad. I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, we won by, what did we do? Yeah, they won by 3. But that was like 2 weeks after they lost to the Raiders. They sent, was it Greg Williams sent an all-out blitz in that game? like he purposely lost the game. Like they were obviously trying to lose. So how the heck do we go and beat the Rams and then beat the Browns the next week? Like, what are we doing? Who are we?
Yeah, who are you, the 2004 Patriots or the 2020 Jets?
Yeah, I was confused. I mean, it was a great Christmas present, I guess to win a couple of games for Christmas, but whatever. We locked in Zach Wilson ultimately
and I guess you could say bittersweet. The good news is at least you won a couple games. The bad news is you didn't get Trevor Lawrence. You got Zach Wilson. So now the question is, how do you think Robert Saleh and Zach Wilson would do? Because obviously Zach Wilson signed late. I mean, yeah, I do like what Joe Douglas and the Jets have done. They've added a lot of talent, especially on offense. I love the drafting of Tucker in the middle of the first round. I really like Elijah Moore this year. I don't know how he wasn't a first rounder, but I'm not a general manager.
Right. This draft was great. I mean, This is different. I mean, I talked to some of my friends, and and we kind of have like the same like feeling that. I mean, I get like Facebook memories that pop up from like 8 years ago, and it's like, oh, in John Idzik we trust, and like I love that regime, and like, okay, these guys are great. We're doing all these smart things, and then look what happened. We stunk. So I'm pretty optimistic again. So here I am again with Joe Douglas, loving it. Arbasala, love it. So hopefully it's just not the same thing that I've already gone through for the last 25 years. But we say that it feels different. You know, this whole thing is different. I don't know. It just seems like they're doing the right things to build a team. Like they traded some players, whoever they could, to get draft picks. You know, what do we have? Um, 6 picks in the first like 60 next year, something like that. So we're set up for the next year to hopefully fix our defense a little bit. But yeah, I mean, they did a lot to get where they were this year. Take Zach Wilson. I mean, yeah, sure, Trevor Lawrence was probably the number one quarterback there. So we'll see what Wilson can do. But trading up to get Vera Tucker was a great idea. And then, yeah, Elijah Moore was like one of the top receivers coming out of college this year and somehow fell to the second round. And I was glad to grab him. It was the second or third round he went. Like, I'm having a brain fart right now.
Second.
But yeah, we didn't have that third round. I mean, we traded that for Vera Tucker. But yeah, I couldn't believe he fell. It kind of reminded me of 2 years ago when Denzel Mims, we traded down in the second round of the 2020 draft, and we still got Denzel Mims, and I was like thrilled. Like, oh, Joe Douglas is a genius. That's our guy. We're going to trade down like 9 to 13 picks later, and we still got our guy. Turns out maybe he's not that great, but you know, I like what they're doing. A lot of good moves for this offense. Michael Carter, hopefully give us a little bit of a running game would be nice. And that line is a lot better than it was a year ago.
Well, yeah, it didn't. Well, yeah, Mekhi Becton makes any offensive line better
Yep.
because he is a man of a man.
Yeah, I just got my Becton jersey in this past week. So I'm rocking the 77 this year.
I'm sure it's extra small, right?
Oh no, the biggest size we got, man. I'm like almost the size as Becton, but a lot less skilled, not as strong, and yeah, sitting on my couch talking about it instead of playing.
Are
So
you worried about Zach Wilson's lack of frame or potentially lack of big game experience? Because yeah, when he played lesser competition, Wilson looked great, but when he played better opposition, particularly in Coastal Carolina last year, he didn't look that confident. I mean, true. I don't know what to call last year because last year was an odd season in college football, especially for BYU because the Cougars basically made up their whole schedule
right,
because there were very few quality non-conference games. So how BYU got in a 4 year is beyond me.
right.
But
Good.
do you think Zach Wilson can handle a 17-game season?
Well, I have to say I hope so. I mean, I have to say yes, but yeah, I don't know. I'm a little concerned about Zach Wilson. You know, this wasn't a guy you heard about for the last couple of years, and you know, you hear about Trevor Lawrence coming out in 2021. He's going to be a big deal. You know, guys like that, like you kind of wait. Like, even Sam Darnold was one of those guys where it was like we're gonna get Darnold in 2 years. The Jets were, and I knew for 2 years that was our guy. Um, but Wilson came on. He had a big year last year, obviously. I think his junior year wasn't that great either. So I don't love it when quarterbacks only have one great college season. And yeah, I mean, they don't play the toughest competition, but the tools are there. So I'm not an NFL scout. You know, I'm not a general manager. I like to think I know some stuff about football, but I don't. But they see something in him, and a lot of teams did. And to be taken second overall, I got to hope that he's going to fit in this offense. You know, he's got a big arm, which is great. Hopefully, you know, with an established running game a little bit, we'll be able to open up the top and he can throw it deep and accurate, and it'll fit right into the wheelhouse there with guys like Moore and, you know, the new Corey Davis that we just signed. So I don't know. I'm a little worried just because of my track record with the Jets, and it's just been tough for years. So I don't know. I don't know. I just would do anything for a franchise quarterback. So hopefully this is it finally.
Yeah, hopefully you finally have replaced Joe Namath.
Even he wasn't the greatest of all time either, but he won a Super Bowl for us. So hopefully Wilson is the next one. I'm more worried about Zach Wilson's mom being a distraction. Like she really is. Like she is something else. Like I don't know
she'll
anything
be
about her.
she'll be perfect in New York.
She's perfect for New York. So just please don't distract Zach, please, and let him just play football and win us some football games.
Just turn off the internet and don't read the papers.
Yeah, like oh no, I am truly worried about that aspect of Zach Wilson, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So one position the Jets have definitely upgraded from the Darnold to the Zach Wilson era is wide receiver. I mean, you mentioned Denzel Mims. I've heard rumors the Jets are shopping Mims. I mean, a couple years ago, I thought Mims would have been a big piece of the Jets, and now you've got a ton of wide receivers because you've got Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Jameson Crowder, Keelan Cole, Braxton Bears. I mean, you've got some depth of wide receiver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we talked about it earlier today, or a couple of days ago. I said, why don't we trade one of these receivers over to New Orleans since they don't have any, and get some more draft picks for next year. Like, I don't know. I'm really curious. With the camp going on, I want to see these games. I want to see what the Jets' plans are for Elijah Moore and Jamison Crowder. I really thought Moore was going to take over that slot role, but Crowder restructured his deal and saved them some money, and he stayed. Fine. But I think Moore has it to be on the outside too. I think he's very versatile in that way. So, yeah, I mean, I was looking at the receivers from last year, and it's pretty brutal. So they certainly have done Wilson some justice here and gave him some targets. So, yeah, Mims again last year missed some time. He was hurt. Yeah, he was drafted by Joe Douglas, but Salah's now here, so that's not one of Salah's guys. So he could be expendable. So I would keep an eye out for that because, like I said, yeah, let's get more. I want to see Elijah Moore. That's who I'm excited about. So Corey Davis is a good signing. I mean, yeah, he had a career year last year. I don't think he's going to be like the greatest receiver ever. I think Moore is our alpha dog out there. I think he's going to be our number one receiver. So yeah, might as well get rid of some spare parts, I guess.
And now we get to the most interesting part of the night for me. Remember, I said the famous Jet game? Well, oddly enough, there was a famous the Jets beat a quarterback who just won in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in his last home game for said team. Who was the quarterback you beat that Mark Sanchez and the Jets beat in the 2011 AFC wildcard game?
Who's a quarterback that we beat in the wild card game? Oh man!
You want a hint? Do you want a hint?
Yeah.
It was a rematch of a playoff game the previous year.
What am I trying to? I can't think. Oh man, why do you got me on this one? I remember one of the year. I don't know why this Curtis Painter is stuck on my head. I think it's because the one year they made the playoff because the Colts benched Peyton Manning for Curtis Painter. But why can't I think? It wasn't Tim Tebow, was it?
You said it. You said his name. You
Curtis
said
Painter.
It's not Curtis Painter. He did not go. I can rest assured Curtis Painter did not go in the Hall of Fame last night.
Well, no, Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Peyton Manning.
He beat
Yeah.
Peyton Manning 17-16.
That's right.
Wild card game.
I don't know why I wasn't thinking that he was the answer for some reason. But yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. But do you remember what I'm talking about? It was a year they were going for perfection, actually.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And we beat Curtis Painter, and that's how we got into the playoffs that one year. We would have missed out. They didn't care about it.
Week 16. Yeah, come on. Come on, Coach Caldwell.
That
And
was
by the way,
great.
that was my first year playing fantasy football. I
Really,
first year playing fantasy football. I promise you. I promise. And
that's funny.
and Peyton Manning, Reggie Wayne, and Dallas Clark were on my team, and I was struggling that week, thinking, "Oh gosh, are the Colts gonna bench all three of those guys?" And I'm watching like halfway through the third quarter, and I'm thinking, "Oh, I don't want to say, I don't want to
You
say."
dirty dog. Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah, yeah, and then I needed a Sidney Wright touchdown on Monday night against the Bears to win my fantasy matchup, and thank God Fall found Rice in the back of the end
Oh,
zone.
good. Yeah, I forgot. Why do I forget that he? I know we lost to Peyton. Was it the next year we lost to him, or the year before?
And then you beat the Colts in regular season. Indy beat you in the AFC Championship game. Then you beat them in the division in the wild card
The
round
next year.
before beating Brady.
Yeah, I know. So that's crazy. Yeah, we lost to Manning the year before. That's right. And we beats Manning, beats Brady, but loses to Ben. But it's still what a man, what a playoff resume Mark Sanchez has to
I
say he
mean,
beat those guys.
and you imagine if Mark Sanchez would have won that game, he would have beaten Peyton Manning, Hall of Famer, Tom Brady, the GOAT,
Mm-hmm.
Ben Roethlisberger, probably a Hall of
Hall of
Famer,
Famer. And
and
then
Aaron Rodgers, definite Hall of Famer if you ask me.
right, and Aaron Rodgers probably would have lost because he can't win big games. So who knows? We could have been a Super Bowl champion with Mark Sanchez. Unreal.
I mean, you imagine if Mark Sanchez would have been in Arlington for that Super Bowl?
I can't. No way. Like that.
I mean, would you have braved the elements for that Super Bowl?
I
Because
would have to.
I mean, then again, cold weather's right up your alley because you guys get more cold weather than we do.
Yeah, but I hate it. I go to games in September and October. I don't like going when it's like below 30 degrees. I'd rather be in my house warm watching the game on TV.
And
But
come to Florida.
yeah, I'd rather do that. I mean, I'll come down there for a Super Bowl anytime.
Or this year it's Inglewood.
Right? I'll go
So
wherever.
so realistically, what are you expecting from the Jets this year? I mean, obviously the AFC East is a very difficult division. You've got three defensive gurus there. Well, now four with Robert Saleh potentially. You've got Bill Belichick, Sean McDermott, and Brian Flores. I'm a rookie quarterback. Good luck.
It's gonna be a rough year. But I mean, the fans have to understand that this is like not an immediate fix with what like Joe Douglas did. Next year will be a bigger year. Like I said, I think they're going to focus on the defense next year with the draft, having all those picks. So that'll give us a more well-rounded team than we have now. Right now, the offense is young, but has some promise, and the defense is just kind of like put together. So maybe we get CJ Mosley back, which is it's like adding a free agent that he never hasn't played for us. He played, I think, part of a game. So I'm really excited about that. Going through the schedule, I think I have the Jets going like 6-11, kind of being optimistic. So I'm kind of hoping we can show some signs of life at some point during the year. But yeah, this division is not easy. I was kind of hoping Xavier Howard would leave Miami since he was all upset. Like that would be helpful to us, but he's sticking around. The Bills obviously are the best team in this division, and that's not going to change anytime soon. And the Patriots, they're just the Patriots. I know Bill Belichick, former Jets coach for 24 hours, has been a thorn in my side for many years. So I don't know. The Patriots can be beat now. I mean, they don't have anybody special, Cam Newton or Mac Jones. I'm not really worried about either one. So, but again, this year is not. We'll come in last this year, and I expect it doesn't mean it's going to be a failure of a year. So hopefully we have, like I said, some signs of life, some good moments out of, especially Zach Wilson, obviously, and we'll see what we can do next offseason.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Elijah Moore is interesting, not just in fantasy, but in redraft or dynasty leagues, because I've heard a lot of good things about Moore. And you know what? Young, cheap receivers are always fun, especially on Sunday.
Right. Especially in a team that's going to be losing a lot and they got to throw the ball a ton. So, I mean, you got to assume Zach Wilson. Hopefully, he builds rapport with Moore. You know, they're both obviously rookies, so why not get them started? You know, connecting right off the bat.
Baptism by fire.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, so yeah, as a fan of a rookie head quarterback and Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville, I think we'll go through a lot of the same difficulties that you guys will.
Yeah, that defense is struggling now too.
Oh
So
gosh, oh gosh. Yeah, it might be 58-55. Oh yeah, and the Jets and Jags play each other this year.
yeah, that could be a game that, yeah, like you said, 58-55. It could just be a shootout.
I'm just saying, I think that's in the stretch where the Jets played three straight teams from Florida because you played the Bucks, Dolphins, and Jags.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're in Jacksonville this year, right? We play you down there.
I don't know if you all
I
because
was just going through the schedule before, trying to figure out what game I wanted to go to.
I think you've got the Bucks and Jags at home, and then you're down here in Miami week I think 14 or 15.
I'll tell you right now, I have it here. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are in Miami week 15,
Okay.
and then we're home 16 against Jacksonville and 17 against Tampa Bay.
That's what I thought. So
Yeah, all that after playing, I guess, some easier teams. I mean, New Orleans not an easy team, but they could be with no offense. But we have the Saints, the Eagles, the Texans. So interesting stretch there.
but by the
Might get a
way,
few wins.
Lord knows who's going to be the quarterback for the Saints, Eagles, and Texans this year.
I know. Yeah, I know. Deshaun Watson was getting traded a couple of days ago to the Eagles, but he's not going anywhere. Like, no
But
one's trading for Deshaun Watson by
but
now.
I've heard rumors he's done with the Texans, but
Practice today.
but the NFL hasn't suspended him, which seems befuddling because Big Ben got what a few games for when he wasn't even charged for that incident many
Mm-hmm.
years ago.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused at what they're waiting for. I don't know. I didn't look too much into it. I just kind of assume, I don't know, because he doesn't want to play for them. So I'm like, he's not going to be playing anyway, but he practiced today, which was kind of interesting. He was out there with pads on. So I don't know, but I don't see him getting traded because the NFL could at any time could suspend him, and I'm sure he could fight it. Well, he'll probably play this year. He'll be suspended for next year.
It might be a
Traded.
situation. It might be like the Trevor Bauer situation where basically the NFL puts him on he can't play this year, so he basically would miss the whole year or miss part of the year or whatever until the legal process is over. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but that's going to be an odd one.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
So thanks for hopping on, and hopefully the Jets are on the fast track to success soon.
I hope so, man. Thank you.